Well, the topic of my presentation here is language and communication, two sides of a coin. And I have raised the question, is it really so or not? The point that I wanted to make earlier in this presentation was, it in a way became a kind of a story also, I would like to say. I wanted to make a presentation on social networking websites and its use in communication. One of my students came and said that he is planning to make a presentation on that, and which they are going to make today. Another thing I was thinking about how advertisement can be useful. One of my colleagues was already preparing on that. The third idea was cultural communication, intercultural kind of a thing. And the second colleague sent me an email that this is my paper, which I am going to present. So three of the topics on which I was supposed to present are shut down. Well, but still, the communication skills and the language has a lot of potential to be taken out, and we can talk a lot about it. Even after what Vidyut Bhai has already said, what Jay Vasauda has said, what has been talked about this, still we can throw some kind of glimpses, some kind of light on this topic. Well, when I raise this question, is it really so? Two sides of a coin. I am here to have a kind of a subversive way of looking at language and communication. One of my first statements that I am making here is that language does not communicate. Language is not capable of communicating, and I will try to prove how it happens. Actually, and really communication happens or not. The definitions of language, if we go through Encarta, prepared by Microsoft, it speaks something like this. It has communication with words, speech of groups or among the groups, system of communication systems, sign language, symbols. It has non-verbal communication between animals, between humans and animals, vocabulary, body language, gestures, and whatnot. The last point, that is eighth one, which will be of some kind of interest here in this particular presentation, and that is a computer terminology speaking about programming language. And I would rather use the word conditioning rather than programming in the course of the presentation. What is communication? Well, again you will find hundreds of definitions on this, but three important things we can put here is, it is a process of transforming information from one entity to another. Entity is the word which stands here as something very important. By entity I mean living things, non-living things. By living things I mean animals, humans, and vegetation world, as per Charles Darwin's evolution theory. Non-living things I mean devices, computers and everything, they communicate among themselves with the help of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And the third one is even the dead people. They also communicate. The dead communicates with the living also and among themselves also. Well, so it is a process of transforming information. The second point is information. Now, are we really transforming information or not? Sometimes we say that by reading we acquire knowledge. Is it that a knowledge or not? By this point, I would like to say here that information, when it passes through either heavenly bliss or the hellish fire of experience, it does not become knowledge. Neither the knowledge will become a wisdom unless it passes through the same kind of a process of experience. So if we say that by reading or by communicating or with the help of language, we are imparting any kind of knowledge or wisdom, it is a limited way of looking towards communication. Maybe we are trying to share only information, nothing more than that. And even in that, there are problems. Third one is the process whereby meaning is defined and shared between living organisms. Again, the question comes with the word meaning. Are we really able to communicate meanings or not? Can we communicate meanings with the help of a language or with the help of pictures or with the help of verbal gestures or not? Body language and everything comes under that. To give you an example how it does not happen, here is one sentence. No petrol and diesel day on 14th February. Emails and SMSs are spreading nowadays as the 14th February is nearing that nobody should buy petrol or diesel on this thing. Now, what is the meaning of this particular SMS or email? Why? Well, one of the reason or one of the meanings that we can understand is fighting against government's policy to liberalize price of crude oil and the hiking of the prices of the commodities, and so to react against them, walking on the path of Egyptians and the Arabian countries, we also, at least for a day, will not buy petrol and diesel to show to the government that we have some power. Well, second meaning can be ecological concerns. Save environment, and because of that, one day we will walk, we will cycle, but we will not purchase petrol, diesel. And so that is another meaning which can be read. Well, it can also have an ambush marketing of Valentine's Day. We can ask why 14th February only? Why not 15th? Why not 13th? So is this under the idea of ecological thing that you are ambush marketing Valentine's Day? Or is it a cultural attack? Now, a word like no petrol, diesel, 14th February, what does it mean? It is not clear. So does the language communicate or not? That is the question that comes here. We'll see few more examples. Like, see the word communicate itself. How we can say incapable is this particular word if I borrow the words from Ferdinand de Saussure, sign, signifier and significance. Whether this particular word signify what it is supposed to signify. In all the three sentences, please communicate this message to all the employees. It is quite clear that communicate stands for transferring information. He communicated his anxieties to the psychiatrist. Now it is becoming something emotional. Some kind of psychological thing that he is trying to share here, and he is using the word communicate, which is more applicable for the first sentence, not for the third also. Communicate a disease, a word that may come from AIDS awareness program, communicating diseases. So the same word, but it really means quite a different kind of a thing in all the contexts. The key word here is this context that makes the real sense. One more example we can see here. Supposing there is a sentence, Mr. A married Miss B. Call it Tom, Dick and Harry, or Jill, Jen and Julie. Supposing this is the kind of a telegram that we are receiving that this and that married, and we got a message. Had we known earlier, that is what I call it, a priori knowledge of the context. Before we knew that our relatives and their children are going to marry and we got a message through telegram, we are happy that they are married. That is what is conveyed here. Now supposing Tom and Jill, they are marrying each other, and we know that Jill was supposed to marry with Dick. Now why I am getting a message that Tom is marrying a Jill? The same words will have a different kind of meanings. There is no change in the language, but the meanings are changing. How it happens in different contexts. If you get a sentence like this, Sanya married Shoaib, it will all create a different kind of repercussions in society. We have seen that the media was mad behind these people when they really married. The reasons may be several kind of a thing. A religious fanatic person can read the sentence in a way that Muslims are always looking to